Hey everyone, my name is John Roca. I'm from Collider, and I'm here with three of the incredible cast members from Richard Jewell. Please excuse my throat; I was coughing all night. But I'm ready. I'm excited. I couldn't turn down this opportunity to interview Sam Rockwell, Kathy Bates, and Jon Hamm. I want to start off first by saying, first question, Kathy. You're always playing these strong, no-nonsense women, and at first glance, you might not think Bobi Jewell is, but she shows us a different kind of strength. You give her the strength throughout the movie. I want to know, what did you strive to bring to your portrayal of her that you thought was the most important thing for you?
Her resilience,
Yeah.
I would say, and her deep love of her son.
Mm-hmm.
She's still hurting. It's still very emotional, even after all these, did you say, it was 23 years since it happened?
23 years.
Yeah, 1996.
She's still very emotional, and even though I'm not a mom, I wanted to glean as much as I could from her. I know she had miscarriages, and he was her only son.
Right.
And so it was, I just wanted to get it right for her. We all, I think, wanted justice for Richard.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sam, you're no stranger to playing these scene-stealing, quote-unquote, supporting characters, for lack of a better term, from Guy in Galaxy Quest to Watson Bryant and Richard Jewell now. But there was a freedom that you gave Watson that I don't think I've seen you play in any of your roles, and I want to know, was that something you brought to it yourself personally, or was it conversations with people around Richard Jewell, lawyer, and all that kind of?
I met with the real Watson,
Yeah.
Brian, and he's pretty colorful character. He's really interesting to be around. He's very cocky, and he's funny, and he's opinionated. He's a lot of things. So it was pretty easy to it was a lot to draw from.
Yeah. As an actor, were you excited when you met him? You're like, oh, I can play this.
Yeah, definitely. He's wild.
Yeah.
He's wild.
Yeah, it comes through, certainly. John, you are back playing an FBI agent. You know, we're a national organization, Claire, from the town. It's not easy to play a villain in these movies in a piece like this. What did you focus on getting right with him in your scenes?
Well, I think it's hard to describe this guy as necessarily the villain, because I don't think there's really any malice in what he's doing. He's trying to do his job, and he does it to the best of his ability, and he survives on his instinct and the strength of his conviction, and he just got it wrong.
Yeah.
And it happens sometimes, and I think we have to remember that sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
I think when you just take everything at face value, as the case was here, it can sometimes be wrong, and all the evidence can point in one direction, and it can point in the wrong direction,
Right.
which was the case here. And when they ended up finally catching the guy that did it, by that point he had set off 4 other bombs and planted several others that hadn't exploded yet, and so that guy's in jail for the rest of all of everybody's life. So that's the important thing to remember, is just that the movie isn't really about an indictment of law enforcement or media or anything. It's just that let's think before we rush to judgment on things like that.
Yeah, and I think what's great about this film is that everyone gets to breathe such incredible life into these characters. I cried a couple times throughout the movie, just the emotion of it, because I remember living through it and then seeing it again, all over again. I think the weight and the gravity and the talent you all brought to these characters to bring them to life for us again in a more visceral way was fantastic.
Thank you.
I want to ask one last question from the three of you. Obviously, actors talk, you all working with Clint Eastwood. What was the preparation for all three of you, maybe separately or together, before you walk on a set with Clint Eastwood, who's known to do 1 or 2 takes and moving on like
Diapers,
this?
lots of word diapers.
Diapers?
Yeah,
That's just every day for you.
yeah, that's just a Friday night.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous when I did my first scene with him, but he's so gentle and kind, and he's an actor as well as a wonderful director, so he knows us, and he, when I was working on the press conference scene, I was trying to, work on my emotion, and he noticed a few people coming over, and he said, leave her alone,
yeah.
And I really appreciated that, because a lot of directors, they just sit behind the video,
Right.
It's an adversarial role, and he's right in there with you.
Very engaged. Yeah, he was very engaged in all facets of it. It was really lovely to see.
That's awesome. But diapers, I like it. All right.
Thank you.
This is John Roca for Collider with Sam Rockwell, Kathy Bates, and Jon Hamm for Richard Jewell. Go see this one. Trust me, you'll love it.